Spencer, first chance to see the players at home in action against higher league opposition today. What did you make of today's showing?
The most important thing was no injuries, so I've got two of my 3 star attacking players off the pitch in 30 minutes. So from that perspective, really disappointing. There were lots of pluses. That obviously is a massive negative. Taylor is considerably worse than Michael. Obviously far too early to put a timeline on it, but Taylor will be weeks, not at least. So that could be anything between 2 weeks and 8 weeks. Michael was a bit more precautionary. He doesn't think it's too bad, but I'm not sure how long that will be. I said we need things to settle down, but it was very precautionary. As soon as he felt it start to go hamstring, he was off. So, as I've said in plenty of interviews and comments, the priority in pre-season is to try and get through it unscathed, and we certainly haven't done that. Reggie also got quite a nasty knock, so he was off at half time as well. So from that perspective, it was welcome back with the wind and the rain, and what a depressing start. But I thought there were some pluses. I thought we gave a very good Wealdstone side, decent game. I thought plenty of minutes into tanks, cliches. I thought we missed a great chance first half. Obviously we hit the bar. Alfie picked up on a mistake and their keepers made a good block. A very poor goal from our perspective on the stroke of half time. Got 2-1 up, and I thought we were comfortable, frankly. And then we've conceded the next 2 goals. Are very poor again, which is something that we're not used to doing here. I think we're the 3rd best defensive record in the league, and I've said, fellas, that needs to improve. But we've got 3 weeks before the season starts. We've got another 4 games, and I thought on the 4th goal, I think the referee needs pre-season more than we do. That's just a shocker. That's the 4th official, the linesman, everyone said it was a foul, and he's let him run through, and it sort of flatters them really. But very grateful to Wealdstone coming down. Really good team, passing team. So it was good for us to be chasing around a lot. And obviously it was difficult. We had to make lots of subs that we didn't plan on doing at that particular point, but we got, I said, lots of players on, and we have to build on and push on towards the next one on Tuesday.
Yep, and I know I'm biased, but great to see Ricky back. How's that one come about?
So the Ricky thing, as I've said, was very last minute. I spoke to Ricky a month ago, and he had very different plans regarding what he wanted to achieve this season regarding playing. And then obviously I saw, like everybody, that he'd signed for Dover. I sent him a text to wish him luck, and then things started to unravel, and he contacted me and we had a chat, and very quickly it was like the old days. We spoke, I think, for nearly an hour, and he said to me, it's just like being old. I just want to be with Farnborough, which is obviously a lovely feeling. Obviously he's turned down a lot more from others than us, but he wants to be here, and I think the absolute priority is players that want to be here. I'm not going to comment on what's going on. Dover's nothing to do with us. Mitch is a friend of this football club, and we wish him all the very best. So he wanted to come back. Obviously came completely out of the blue. Predominantly he said it. He expects to do more coaching. He's starting his coaching badges. He's now away for 10 days because he's getting married. So we wish him all the best. Now, which has been booked for years. So we've invited another coach to join my management team in Steve Baker, long-term Harrow manager. I've known him for 15 years. We want to improve the whole club, and the management team now is really strong with Dave and Ricky and Steve and John. I think that's 3 UEFA B coaches, myself and Steve and John, and Ricky's doing his badges, and coaches from experience really well, and Dave and Pete the physio. Really great group, and that's obviously not forgetting all the fabulous volunteers that help us in and around the dressing room. So we've got a good group. It's just tough today with the injuries. Obviously that's the forefront of my mind. You want to get through these games without injuries to your star players that quickly. 1 in 5 minutes, which is a bad one, and one that we don't really know the extent of yet, because there were some bright sparks in there. Great to get Alfie scoring goals, and we didn't want to risk Sid today. He went over on his ankle at Beaconsfield, but he was desperate to play. I was holding him back, but he'll be available for Tuesday, subject to no other setbacks, and we'll just move on, and please try and be better on the injury front on Tuesday.
Yep. And on the player front, just on some of last season's players, any update on John Oyunuga and Salim Saeed?
No, the first and foremost thing, players kind of want to play for the club. I called John months ago. I didn't get a response. I believe he's trying at other clubs. So I think it may be best that he does have a fresh start. Fabulous lad, great servant of this football club. But the reality to it is maybe it's best that we both have a change. So I haven't heard from him. Salim is even more disappointing, quite frankly. I'm very disappointed. He's been retained. He refuses to return calls, text messages. His agent, who I've dealt with for over 5 years, who I've got a fabulous relationship, also refuses to engage. He keeps sending me a message once every month to say, really sorry, I'll be back in contact tomorrow, and doesn't. So there's nothing else I can say. I have no idea where he is. He was the fans' player of the year. I've written him quite a hard text at the end. Players come and go. We understand players leave football clubs. But have the courtesy to tell us that you're trying out somewhere. He's retained. We would be due quite substantial compensation. But we also don't, if a player wants to go and try it somewhere else, that's their right. But I just think it's common decency with all that we've done for him and developed him, that they should let us know. But, I'd love to have him back. I have no idea what's going on with him. Very, very disappointing. And I'm very surprised with both Salim and his agent, quite frankly. But the door is still open. Fingers crossed one of them will give us a call. But it's not the way to act. And it is what it is. But ultimately, we've got a group of players here that are desperate to play for this club. And you saw the fantastic fans, really pleased to be back here today. Volunteers, sponsors. Everybody's worked so hard, and if players don't want to be here, the few, then they shouldn't be here. It's a fantastic place. If they don't want to be here, it's their loss.
Yep. And 2 home games next week. We've got Aldershot on Tuesday. Should be another great test.
Well, it will be a fantastic test because we're now bare bones. So we've gone from the sublime to the ridiculous. I let an awful lot of trialists go. We've kept, obviously, a good core of last year, but we've now picked up a lot of injuries. Ricky's away as well. So we're now really looking at numbers. So we're going to be quite a bit under par, unfortunately, on Tuesday, just on numbers. So that's putting more minutes into players perhaps than we'd like to. I was pleased to get a number of them to sort of 70 and 75 today. But can't be asking players, potentially there's a few knocks in there to be going more, and obviously that no chance of Taylor and almost no chance of Michael, and so key players missing. So we may have to look at a few more trialists, which is very frustrating because I thought there were moments where we got some patterns going and people starting to get used to each other, and I thought we passed the ball better in the second half and we led the game, and they've made a great save at the end there, and I think the scoreline flatters them. But I'm not taking anything away. Wealdstone, very, very good passing team and quick and sharp, and then there were areas that we definitely have to improve on. But so very tough against Aldershot on Tuesday, and then obviously league opposition on Saturday with a fabulous club in Sutton, who I'm sure will like to take it out on us, and at the moment it is what it is. But ultimately we are all working in this process to August the 5th. I'm just pleased that it's better today. I mean, so much happened. So it's like a season happened in one game. We're talking about referees already. After a long conversation I had with the league on Wednesday night with managers, that's a National League referee. I thought he had a poor game, but then I suppose it's pre-season for them as well, and injuries at the start and chances and everything that was going on. It was a lot to take on in the first 90 odd minutes of the season, but on we go. Plenty of time still to go, and perhaps it's back to the phones because we're desperately. Well, I thought we were done. We're looking just for a couple of loans to come in, but depending on the Taylor thing, we might have to go back to the begging bowl and try and get 1 or 2 more in, because clearly that's a massive loss.
And of course today was a day to remember the wonderful Andy Smart. Obviously we'll miss him quite a lot. Nice to see so many people paying tribute today.
Do you know what? It was just terrible. I didn't know Andy particularly well. It's no secret. We just started a distant relationship, and I still find it staggering that I'm standing there clapping at the death of a, quite frankly, a very young guy, let's be reality, with no age at all. I'm looking back and there's a picture of him on the big screen. It's incredibly sad. I'm really glad that the club doing the right thing always, for our fabulous fans. It's a very sad thing, it's really terrible. It's, to me, it was literally, it feels like a couple of weeks ago we were at the presentation evening and we were saying well done for this, and and everything. He loved the club. It's very, very, very sad, and it's very good. A great reception, and he is very sorely missed. It's really hard to take when you look back and you go, somebody that we're so used to seeing, who was sitting up here doing radio commentaries, and he absolutely loved the club. So it's a very, very sad loss, and obviously our massive condolences to his friends and family.
Agreed. Brilliant. Thank you, Spencer, and speak to you on Tuesday.
Thanks very much, Don.